Hello and welcome to another transfer edition from that Millwall podcast, where we've had to jump back on as we did the other day with the latest rumour. We are yet again linked with another player overseas, and we're going to be joined by James McKian, who's going to give us everything we need in the lowdown to the latest player that we've been linked with after this.
Language you don't usually hear on television. Millwall in London's Dockland.
No one likes it, but we don't care. We're that Millwall Podcast. Loud every Friday night right here. Legends like Jimmy Abdul, Teddy Sheringham, and the kitchen too. Super Neil Harris, a fucking legend too. Through the good times and in the strife, we support the Lions all our life. This ain't no place for fancy feet. This is fucking Millwall through and through, located on our very own John Benison way. Let them all come, let them have their say. Millwall till we die. With that Millwall podcast, loud every Friday night right here.
And welcome back and welcome, James McKian. How are you?
Hello, how are you guys? That Millwall podcast. I watch you guys often from South
brilliant,
Korea.
Appreciate it. Oh,
I
thank you
got
very
my
much.
Millwall
And
shirt on tonight too.
absolutely love that, spreading a bit of Millwall love from across the globe. James, I just want to say thank you, first of all, for staying up at this hour. What time is it you say it's over there at the moment?
It's about 1 o'clock in the morning.
1
But
o'clock
I just
in the
got
morning.
home from Daejeon FC, who lost to Gwangjong, one of those teams. Gwangju they lost to.
Guangzhou. Okay, well, that brings me straight into the segment. So why don't you introduce, for the viewers that don't know anything about yourself or South Korean in general with football side of things, what with us being in the English Football League, why don't you just tell us a bit about yourself, why Korea, why are you out in Korea, obviously from Boston originally, as you said, and what it is you do out there and the team that you support?
Sure. Well, my name is James McKian. I work as an English teacher. I've lived here for 10 years now, and I live down the street from Daejeon FC. My wife is from Daegu, so I've been watching them since I've been dating my wife, and now we live right down the street from the stadium, which is nice. They used to play at a World Cup stadium. It's about like an hour away from our house, but now they moved to central downtown, which is nice. And what was the third question?
So just why Korea?
Oh, I got a job as a English teacher I used to work as a substitute teacher in Boston, and I don't know, I wasn't making that much money out there. And, I was working at a bar, burning the candle at both ends. I'd wake up, go to the bar, then I'd come to work as a substitute. So, like, I don't know, I was up all night, like, partying with all my friends and stuff all the time. So I got a job offer from online, and I went there. The first school I worked at wasn't that nice, but long story short, I met my wife, and here I am,
Here you are 10 years later, and you're on that Millwall podcast telling us
Yeah.
all about the latest link. So I want to get stuck into that.
Song Min-Kyu, right?
Min-Kyu, yes, this is it. Where's the link come from? The link come out today that there's a rumour that has come out today, Millwall fans, for those of you that hasn't seen it, from Ballman Chan and journalists, that Millwall are interested in the Jeonbuk winger / forward.
Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors.
Right. Okay. So
From
tell us a bit
Jeonju.
about the player. Who is he? What's his career path been like?
He came in from Pohang in 2021. And he plays as a number 10. He plays mostly as a winger, sometimes an attacking player. He's got dyed blonde hair. He came in after a guy named Lopez had left, who was a really good player for them. So he's sort of like a replacement guy. Jeonbuk in 2018, they were very, very stacked. They won the Champions League of Asia in 2016, so they had like an all-star team going. But since like 2019, around Corona time, they started cutting back like costs and stuff. He did win the league his first year, I believe, but then they lost the league a couple of times to Ulsan Hyundai, who are now Ulsan HD. He hasn't played a game since July 10th, and I saw him play. He only played half a game. Jeonbuk had lost to Daegu FC 3-0 in early July. So he's a decent player, but he's not like a guaranteed starter or anything for them.
Okay, and is that the top division now in
Yeah,
Korea?
yeah,
I
they're in
imagine the K League.
10th place right now. I can't imagine that Jeonbuk would go down just because Hyundai owns them, and Hyundai has a big sponsor of the K League.
Okay, so you said he plays as a forward, mostly as a winger at times as well.
Yeah, winger and forward, number
What
10, so
type of
a little bit behind the strikers.
Okay, so what type of player is he in terms of, is he more of a is he got like a bit of
Attacking.
flair about him? Is he all attack? He's straight out? Is he aggressive?
Versatile attacking, and then sort of like an assist man. Once in a while, I'll come up with a goal, but he's not like prolific as a striker or anything.
Oh, so he's
There's
better
a
out
lot
on
of
the wing then.
attacking winger type guys these days.
Yeah, that's good. And if there's anything we know about Millwall at the moment is that we are crying out for wingers. In terms of how he fits, I mean, what is he now? He's 24 years old, I believe.
Yeah, he's still very, very young. He still has
So he's still a
time in
young
front of
player.
him.
Yeah,
And
so
he's
still
military exempt. I know he won the Asian Games in 2022, so he doesn't have to do his army bid. The army team right now is in first place. So like they could win the league, but they operate outside the transfer market where they'll switch out guys in October. They'll have like a different group of guys come in halfway through the season, which to me seems a little bit dubious. The Gimcheon Sangwoo team.
That's interesting that the military exemptions that's always interested me on how that works out there with players, because we have it here, with Premier League player Song Min-Young. That's an issue that arises for him when he plays out in them competitions as well. So that's definitely an interesting thought. In terms of the character he is, I mean, what type of person is he? Is he someone who, he's a very good locker room guy? Does he cause any problems?
They've had some issues with like guys going up to Seoul to party. They lost 5-1 to FC Seoul. And then some of the players were going up to Seoul to party afterwards, which seemed a little strange. But he wasn't involved with that, I don't believe. But he's not, like I said, he's not a guaranteed starter. So he's not really like a team leader. He's still kind of young. They have another guy, Moon Sung Min, who sometimes starts. It doesn't really seem like the manager knows their best 11.
So would you say it's like a manager problem that's not getting the best out of him, or is he? Could he be
they've
that
had different
starter?
guys. They've had different managers the last like year or so. They had the Romanian guy, and then he got fired or quit or something. So now they have like an intern manager type guy in there right now. But,
so he's been at Hyundai Motors for the last since halfway through 2021. I'm looking at some of his appearances here: 22 appearances, 30 appearances, 12 appearances this year, total of 13 goals, 8 assists. How does he fit in terms of Hyundai's game? Is he predominantly a winger that comes on, or does he start and come off in games? Is he used as a bit of energetic where he can come on late in games and affect the game?
He used to be a starter a couple of years ago, but now he seems more of like a bench player. I don't know if the interim manager uses him as frequently as the last couple of guys did. But he was one of their main guys maybe like a year ago, 2 years ago, and now he's sort of relegated to the bench.
That's it. So how does that work with him internationally with South Korea? Does he play much for them? Is he a regular starter for them?
I think they mostly use guys from Europe in their starting 11. So I don't think he's like a main starter, but I think he's been in the mix with them.
So what sort of this is interesting, because this is not really the usual type of player Millwall are linked with. We do our business very much at home in England, or if we do venture abroad overseas, it's not very far. So this would have completely caught Millwall fans by surprise. It certainly caught myself by surprise. What is the type of sources that it's come from Ballman Chan and other journalists? What is their credibility in terms of when they link this source?
Some of these websites I'm on, they're like Instagram pages about Korean football. They're reporting it that he's being linked. One of my buddies that knows all the transfer stuff, he runs an English-speaking website on Facebook. He says it's rumored but unsubstantiated, but it is being rumored, and it's on a lot of websites that he's being linked to the team. Maybe he's coming for like Norton Cuffy. Is Norton Cuffy going back to Arsenal?
Norton Cuffy was originally on loan at Millwall, and his loan
Yeah.
expired, so he's gone back to Arsenal now. So I don't know what's going to happen.
I
with
could
him
see
in
him
the
filling
future.
in that position for them. Whether or not he
And-
starts is,
oh,
I
that's
mean, if he can't start in K League One, I don't know if he's going to start in the Championship. It's about the same level of play from what I saw when I went to the Den last year.
So that brings me directly onto the next sort of thing I was going to ask you. How is that going to work now with the transition to the level? Is it
It's a
a
very
step up, a
physical
step
game,
down?
and no, the K League is very physical. The ball moves very quickly. I think from what I saw, now this was December. They played. Who did they play? One of those town teams, not Luton Town. Maybe it was Luton. Yeah, I think it was Luton Town. It was like a 1-1 draw. It was about the same level. Sometimes the guys can really turn it on. Other times it seems like they're playing for a draw in the K League. It's one of
Yeah.
it's one of those leagues, but it wasn't anything like particularly like, oh my gosh, like the championship is so much better than the K League or vice versa. It seemed about the same level of pace. And very, very physical. Both leagues seem have a lot of physicality to them.
I was going to say, I watched a couple clips on him, and he does look quite physical. He gets stuck in. He does also look like he throws tantrums now and then.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say? You know, if he's getting grabbed by the shirt or something, he likes to stop and throw his arms out. He doesn't really look like he plays to the whistle too often. He lets his emotions get the better of him. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I think it was more of a prevalent player in their team a couple of years ago. He had some very important goals for the last time they won the league. But he's very physical. He's a strong presence.
So do you think
A
it's
lot of the
more?
guys just play towards to try to get the ref or get on the ref's good side or get a card for the other team. A lot of the guys play that game like the dark arts in the K League.
Do you think a lot of that stems from frustration, the fact that he was a starter and now he's sort of on the fringes and things like that? Do you reckon is he an emotional type player where that affects him?
Jeonbuk went from one of the favorites of the Asian Champions League. Now they might get relegated. So I think a lot of the guys are stressed out about that. I know they've had so many different managers coming through, different players, guys like coming in as foreign players that didn't work out. They want to go back to what they were a couple of years ago.
And they're in pretty much like you said, they're in turmoil at the moment. There's a lot of problems that they've got.
I think Hyundai's pulling a lot of money out of Korean footy. So they used to have Ulsan Hyundai. Now it's become Ulsan HD, which is a subset of Hyundai, but it's like a gas station. It's not the same as Hyundai. And Jeonbuk, there just seems to be selling guys left and right.
So that's exactly what I was going to ask. Are they a selling club now? Is with the issues that they've got going on? Do they need to sell players? Is this sort of a luxury thing where they don't have to? And if teams come in, they would rebuff that. Or like I said, is this something or one of the type of players they will look to move on? Do you think?
They might be trying to just sell guys to get some money coming through, then they can re-sign some new foreign stars, or they're going to see where they are at the end of the season. If they go to K2, they're going to try to get some guys off the books and get new guys in. Or if they're just barely survive, they're going to try to rebuild next year. So they might just want new money coming in, new players, and maybe sign some guys from the teams around them. That's what they did.
That happen a lot? So does that happen where they move some of the homegrown players off to bring players in from Europe to enhance their game out there?
They got a guy from Suwon FC that was playing in Europe. I heard that they just signed him. He's a very small player, but he's the same kind of attacking winger. So I think they just got him. Maybe they want to get Min-Kyu out and bring this other guy in.
So
that's what I'm thinking that's going to happen.
Is there any other links with Sha Minku? Because this is obviously quite a random link. Is it just the first one I've heard? The rumors have come out. Is there other?
This is just the only rumor I've heard from so far. The only one is to Millwall. It would have made sense if they went for Ulsan's goalkeeper.
Okay.
Cho Won-woo. He would have been a good player for Millwall, but I guess he's got a young family, and I think he has a long-term deal at Ulsan. He would have been good though. I was thinking,
because we're currently looking for a keeper. Yeah, we signed Jensen to be the number one. Sadly, after the tragedy of Matty Sarkic passing away, so we're definitely looking for a number two keeper. Doesn't sound like he would come over as a number two.
Yeah, I want to be a number one.
A long-term deal sounds like a pretty good keeper.
So
in terms of how much would it take to if Millwall were genuinely interested? And
probably like $1 million, 1.2 million. I mean, the
in English
pound
money,
is a lot stronger than the won. The Korean won's gone way down. I imagine they would sell cheap.
so around £1 million.
Yeah, you could probably get them for $1 million. That's usually what guys go for in the K League, anyways.
To this level,
they sign guys for like 1-year contracts, and then the next team will just sign a guy. There's very rarely there's business being actually done between teams. Usually just offer guys different contracts.
Oh, that's weird. So you think that the Championship? I mean, you've said you've been over, you've watched Millwall games. You take a good interest in Millwall, so you know kind of the type of football that we play. You've seen us play. You've seen the level of the league. I know you said that you think he'd fit in. So, is it a big step up for him? Is it a big step down for him?
I think it would be a big step up, like cultural wise, but I don't know. He's not like one of the best players in the K. Like I don't think like the best player in the K League. I would think of guys on Ulsan last year. Both of them left. Adam Martin left. Vacco went to China. He's not like one of the first names that comes off the top of my head of the best players of the K League. But he's very, like I say, he's very versatile. He's a good attacking player. You know, he's good in good like physical condition and stuff. I don't know if he's gonna become like Son of Min or who's the guy on Man United, Park Ji-sung. I don't know if he's gonna have that
love
kind
it to
of
be in
impact.
Even half of one of them players would be amazing. So he's always been out in South Korea. He's always played his football out there. He's never been anywhere else. Would he transition to English football? Is that something that would entice him? Do players out there want to come and play football in England? I know that the reputation
I think they want to try it.
big, but...
Like Stoke has an English guy. A couple of the teams have English play or have Korean players on them. Stoke City, I'm thinking, but
Coventry City, I believe. As well.
Coventry have one.
I think is it Sakamoto? He might not be Korean. I mean, that.
The Japanese guy.
Yeah, that might be me being naive, but I mean, of that side of the globe. Anyway.
People do want to apply their trade in England, and then when players go to England, like the teams will start to get a little bit popular in Korea. People will buy like shirts and stuff. But when people go to South London to watch him play, I think they'll mostly be going to North London to try to get tickets to see Son. But how much longer is he going to be at Tottenham? He's getting older now, you know. Once he loses half a step of pace, he's done in the EPL.
Yeah. So is Sha Minku, is he a fast player? Is he someone on the turn that breaks away with good speed?
Yeah, he's got some good pace to him. He's got good physicality. But like I haven't seen much. I've only saw him play like half of a game recently, and Jeonbuk had lost 3-0 to Daegu, which is sort of an upset game.
Oh, right. Okay. So he's not actually getting in the side at the moment then?
He hasn't played since July 10th now. Is it because he's being linked with a move or is his contract running out? I'm not quite sure.
Is he the type of player then? So is he the type of player to take that to heart and to cause problems? Or is he the type of player that will let his football do the talking?
They're kind of docile. Like, for example, they have some of the guys that they would get like fined if they weren't playing that hard. So the teams were like fining them and not paying them. And one of the foreign players said, "Oh yeah, the Korean guys would just sign away their like rights like that. They could get fined, but the foreign players weren't doing that." And this was in Incheon United a couple of years ago. I don't know the situation in Jeonbuk, but a lot of them they sort of fall in line and go with the flow. I don't think he would go to Millwall and start problems in the locker room. Probably because he probably can't speak the language that well. But also,
would that be a problem? The language barrier? I imagine that's quite a tough language. The two languages, English and Korean. I imagine that's quite hard to.
Yeah, I don't know how well he knows English. Some of the Korean people know English really well, but I doubt he was like studying really hard when he was becoming a professional footballer. It's a full-time job in its own. But who knows? I'm sure he could figure it out or have a translator.
Well, Millwall are definitely in the market for wingers. We've been linked with a couple, but this one definitely blindsided us today. So in terms of the season out there now, you're a fan of Daegu, you said?
Daegu FC, yeah. I got one.
Daegu FC.
There's one, sorry. Daegu FC, here we go. The mighty Blues.
Excellent. So who's there? Where are they in the table and who's their next game?
We are in 11th place and Jeonbuk is in 10th. Who do we play next? I saw them lose tonight to Gwangju. And I think they're on the road next week. I got to look up the schedule.
And you've had a season ticket for 10 years.
What's that?
You've had a season ticket for them for 10 years.
About 7 years because I lived in Busan before this. So
Right, okay.
yeah, 7 years I've had a season ticket.
So you're
It's
pretty
going up
well
every year too. It gets more expensive every year.
Yeah, we're quite lucky where it hasn't at Millwall. You know, we've been quite lucky with our late owner John Belson was very good in terms of looking after the fans. So we're quite lucky in that sense. Well, I mean, I think you've covered everything, James, that Millwall fans want to know. I hope that there isn't anything that we haven't covered. But gun to your head, Millwall, would you pull the trigger if you was the manager?
I think it might be cheap to bring him in, and the commercial aspect of it could be very big in Korea. Koreans love football. They love Korean players playing abroad. So there's nothing wrong with that. He is an attacking player. He's very physical. We could see what he does. Why not? Because we need wingers, like you say. Norton Cuffey's gone. They need someone to come put in some goals or set up some goals for other guys.
Yeah.
Is he the best player in the K-League, though? I wouldn't say he's the best player in the K-League.
No, I agree. And again, I just want to say thank you, James, for joining us tonight.
Anytime.
I know it's been a very short-lived, but for everyone watching, this has been James, and Millwall have been linked to South Korean /winger Song Min-Kyu, and we will catch you on the next one. James,
hey, thanks so much. Thanks so much. Come on.
Language you don't usually hear on television. Millwall in London's Dockland.
No one likes it when we don't care. With that Millwall Podcast, loud every Friday night right here. Legends like Jimmy Abdul take a share in the kitchen or two. Super Neil Harris a fucking legend too. Through the good times and in this life, we support the Lions all our life. This ain't no place for fancy feet. This is fucking Millwall through and through. Located on our very own John Pedersen way. Let them all come, let them have their say. Millwall till we die. With that Millwall Podcast.